Alrighty everybody, it is April 19th, it's 8 a.m. in the morning, and this is our first stop. This is a little whiskey barrel container outside of our back door. A shishito sweet pepper. So it's got a little tiny pepper on the very top, and then surrounding it is Swiss chard. This is a giant Marconi sweet pepper. It's in a good sized little pot. And then next to it we have Cherokee purple tomato here, and then 2 black cherry tomatoes there. And then of course we have our volunteer. We believe this is a butternut squash. And then in here we have more volunteers. It looks like grape tomatoes, also in a tomato cage. And then this piece of lettuce with what we think is spaghetti squash. In the bed right next to it we have 2 Cherokee Tan Pumpkins there, there, and there, and they have all this space to themselves. The kale that is right now being absolutely decimated, but this plant is, I believe, 4 years old. These are the Kentucky Wonder beans, I believe. We did have something planted here in that little bare spot, but they didn't come up. And then down here we have mung beans. In this bed over here we have some volunteer purple sweet potatoes. I'll probably use these as slips. Then of course this kale plant over here is perfectly fine. It is also 4 years old and is nowhere near under siege as the other one, so they chose the other one, which was more beautiful than this one, but it's okay. I'm totally fine with that. Right here in this luscious little overcrowded area, we have the pink eye purple hull peas that were actually saved from like Charlie's You Pick. They had a big row of these. We really liked how they tasted, and we grabbed a couple of the dry peas themselves, or beans, I'm sorry. Right here there was a row, well, 2 rows of creamer peas that did not come up. We think that's 1, but like I said, all of these seeds were several years old. We weren't sure if they were even going to germinate right. And then of course we have English peas. On this side there's a little piece of trellis and English peas on this side, and these guys are taking off. On to the next little area. Honestly, they looked really bad a little bit ago. Down here you can see the leaves are kind of crunchy, kind of folded, but they've got beautiful, beautiful new growth on all of them. So these guys are doing really, really well for where they are. The germination was pretty good. There was only 1 that didn't pop up in here, 1 that didn't pop up in there. There were 3 or 4 that didn't pop up in this one, and I think 2 that didn't pop in that one. So I mean, they're pretty densely planted, but we've got these little trellises in case they need any kind of support. They're supposed to stay small, but we'll see. We have some Malabar spinach that's started in this little pot. It's got a little water reservoir at the bottom, and it's got a level here, there, there, and there. We have some cucumbers. All of these are a hybrid. We didn't realize that whenever we got them. It's the Burblish Bush hybrid. 2 of them have leaf mulch, 2 of them don't. It's kind of like an experiment. These are yellow pear tomatoes. There's 4 decent sized ones on here. Then we have our brand new 3x10 bed. It's full of soil. It's got 2 eggplants there, 1 white and 1 Japanese. Then of course we have our cinder brick bed We have some volunteer perilla in these little squares right here, so I'm not going to mess with those. There's one over there, but the rest of these, from here all the way down, yellow and white onions. Right here we have some patty pan squash. There's 4 of them. It's going to be my first year growing those. We have a black beauty eggplant, and then we have a white eggplant. So all 3 of them are in this pot. All 3 of them were bought and not started. Then we have a tomato. I believe that's a Celebrity in the middle, with Thai, Italian, and regular basil around the outside for some herbs. We have another eggplant here that's surrounded with herbs as well. I believe it's oregano and parsley. These are the Alaskan peas. There's a bean behind it. I cannot remember the name of it. Like I said, I'll have all of this on the screen. But the Alaskan peas are absolutely beautiful. And I'll show you what they look like compared to the other ones. Look at that tiny little bean. That is going to be our first harvest of the year. We've got some flowers and another little teeny tiny bean up there. So these are already putting on fruit. They've been planted for, I believe, 4 weeks. These right here, I can't remember the name of these beans, and I feel so bad. Because I know these right here that are latched onto the little strings are rattlesnake beans, and they are like all the way up here. We have little marvel peas in front of this. They're not doing the greatest. The rattlesnakes have kind of overtaken everything, which is what they were meant to do. So we planted 4 different kinds of peas and 4 different kinds of beans in this one little area. On this bean over here, there are little buds. So that's nice. They're trying their best, but it's really not that great. They are about 1/8 of the size of the Alaskan. Our asparagus has gone wild this year. But we have the little berries on here this year, so we're going to see if we can save some seeds. And then, of course, we have ones that decide they don't want to stay where they need to. But it's fine. Then, again, on this whole fence line, we have a bean, a pea, and then okra down the middle. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okra? Really? See, this whole area right here, all the beans did not come up because, again, all of our seeds were old. Okay? Now, the English peas are the only pea that's in this bed. They have all pretty much come up. They're just not very tall. And then, of course, we have the beans behind it. This is the Star of David okra. The little tiny, I know they're super close together, okay? I didn't think they'd come up. I'm telling you, all of our seeds were super old. We did not go out and buy seed. This is where it starts getting kind of lush. The beans are outpacing the peas, which we honestly expected. We're hoping the okra can get enough sunlight and kind of pop its way through. Oh, pretty bird. But we have these strings set up so that they can do this number and wrap around kind of like a trellis that we don't have to like babysit. They have washers at the end. Let me see if I can show you. They have washers tied at the end to kind of weigh them down, and it's just normal string that's tied up here on a board every few inches. And then these, I don't know what kind of beans these are. These were from the gathering. Two Family Homestead had little packs of mixed pole beans. I have no clue what these are, if we're being honest here. But they're doing great. For the most part, they are one of the tallest. I don't know what this one is, but the stem that's wrapped around is kind of like a brownish color. The string is blue, but the stem is brown. And if you look at the difference, the string is white and the stem is green. So I don't know what that one is, but it was really interesting that it was brown. But yeah, this is our bean fence line. Next we're gonna get to these pots. We have 4 Isis candies in here, as indicated by the name and the date. We have a beautiful yellow pear tomato in here that has flowers on it. We have 4 black cherries in this pot. And we have 4 more Isis in here. Our Satsuma tree is absolutely loaded down with fruit. Our blueberries are also loaded down. They look gorgeous.
Everything in here is pretty densely planted. There's a tomato there, there, and there. Both there. There's some Swiss chard in there in the middle. There's 2 banana peppers there. 2 banana peppers there. There's a cucumber in the corner. Tomato, more cucumber. And then in between there, I've kind of stuck some onions that sprouted. They're red, white, and yellow. I didn't really care which ones are which. I'm trying to experiment to see where they grow best.